Last time on Final Fantasy II, we beat the ever-loving hell out of ourselves, and we proved we were worthy of joining the rebellion. This time around, we've been tasked with finding Mythril with which to equip said rebellion. And of course, for this mission, we've been joined by the White Mage Minwu, who I suppose is here to help prevent our horrible self-mutilation problems. As if he could. Anyway, we actually have two port towns here that we can sail in between. I'm not going to do that just yet, because first I want to explore this town in which pirates walk the street. I don't know why the authorities haven't done anything about this. I guess they're just that busy getting their asses handed to them by the Empire. But despite that, these NPCs really aren't dangerous. I mean, just because they're pirates doesn't mean they want to loot our corpse. The worst they'll do is hit on us, but Lynx will just casually warp in, reject this man, and then warp out, so really it's nothing to worry about. We don't have to worry about these guys. Predictably, most of the towns have been taken over by the Empire, though none of them are really as dangerous as Finn. Soldiers don't walk the streets, and you can freely just talk to people without, fear of dying horribly. Here I'm actually going to buy a mace for Lynx. It's not really the type of weapon I want her to use, but her strength is pretty low at the moment, so she needs a little bit of an edge until she can get the next spear weapon, at which point I will switch her back. And wow, that is the second person that's hit on me in this town. What is it with this place? Crazy hippies. Anyway, yeah, here we just have a bunch of equipment. Yes, I've been grinding money so I can buy all this. Also, in the future, I'm going to start either buying things before or after I start recording, and then just, equip that before, actually starting. That way I can show off all the items I can get at shops, but I don't have to, show this, because, yeah, this is kind of pointless. This will be removed in the future. But yeah, for the time being, I just had to keep that in. I believe in the next set, or the set after that, I will actually just start doing the thing I said, and equipping things before I actually start. Anyway, here's the magic shop. These spells are very, very useful. Blink raises evasion, meaning enemies hit you less and therefore do less damage. Protect raises your defense, again less damage, and Shell will reduce magic damage. They're all pretty damn useful, so yeah, we definitely want to get these. And of course all these spells are white magic, so they're all going to go to Dante and Lynx. Okay, something I forgot to mention last time, I think. Depending on what level your spells are at, they actually cost more MP to use. Like, say, if Cure's level 1, it costs 1 MP to use, but if it's level 2, you need to use 2 MP. I believe it's always just like whatever level you're at, that's how much MP it costs, but I don't think there's any exceptions to that, actually. I'm pretty sure that's always it. Anyway, yeah, here we have access to a ship, but we can't actually move it around. It'll just take us in between these two towns, so not really much of a point in that. Now, we could actually walk here, but that does take a little while, and honestly, I just wanted to get here quickly. And speaking of getting places quickly, this is actually where Sid is, meaning if we want to get anywhere really fast, this is where we need to go for the airship. I believe all these guys pretty much say the same thing, yeah. Everyone but the guy next to Sid says the same thing, even this guy, who should be serving alcohol, says the same thing. Anyway, yeah, this is Sid. We can't ask him about his own airship, but he won't say much about that, though. If we ask him about the Dreadnought, he seems to get airship envy. Yeah, it's not about how big you build them, but even so, the Dreadnought can apparently destroy like half the planet, so I still think his ship's better. Sorry, Sid. Anyway, yeah, this is who we want to talk to if we want to use the airship, but it's not really that expensive, but I'd rather not use it. Basically, depending on what your destination is, it'll cost more, if you have more distance to cover. But honestly, there's not really that much distance between here and Salamand. In fact, I think it's even shorter of a trip than it would be to get from the previous town to this one. And speaking of the previous town, I'm pretty sure the entire stock is the same, so if you bought all the weapons and armor you needed back in, I think that one was Paloom, not Poft, right? This one's Poft, I forget. I get their names mixed up all the time, but yeah, their stock is pretty much the same, so, I guess I'll be right back. Yep, I was correct. Same equipment. So yeah, not much of a point in stopping by here, really, other than, you know, just to talk around, or if you really think you need it, then talking to Sid or his assistant and getting the airship ride, but you don't need it. And here we actually have a new enemy. This guy's a soldier. He's got decent stats, actually, and some pretty good defense. His HP is kind of crappy, though he does have the bow ability, which basically just allows an enemy to damage a target in the back row, though given everyone, including my weight mages in the front row, it really doesn't matter that much. I believe the captains back in Finn also have the bow ability, though theirs is level 3. But again, doesn't matter that much. These guys are Vampire Thorns. Their stats really aren't that much different than Plague Eaters, but their attack can actually inflict Venom, which is similar to Poison, but it is a little bit different in that it will wear off after battle, whereas Poison will stay with you until you cure it. A lot of early game enemies will inflict Venom, but it won't appear that much later on, so just be warned about that, and in case you're wondering why some poison will linger while others don't, that's why. Anyway, Salamand here, Snowtown, very nice, I like it. I believe it does have a little bit of a different stock of stuff, like, I think it actually has completely new magic. Let's check, is this the one with the, crappy magic? No, it's not. Life, Sap, Warp, and Teleport. All these spells are pretty much good except for Warp. Warp isn't that good. In fact, Teleport's a lot better than it, in all honesty. However, I'm not going to buy Teleport just yet because we're actually going to find a Teleport Tome ourselves very soon. I am going to, however, buy the Life Tomes, because those are important. I definitely want that on both Dante and Lynx. I'm also going to temporarily give the Warp spell to Lynx, even though I'm pretty sure it's a black magic, which is... I never really got why they separated that. Like, Warp is black magic for some reason, and Teleport's white magic, except Warp is almost always pretty much useless in all honesty, because it only takes you back one floor, while Teleport will just completely remove you from a dungeon. Though to be fair, Warp does have its uses in this game, but we'll get into that later, though honestly I'd probably ditch it if push comes to shove. As for weapons and armor, I believe there aren't really that many new weapons, although this longsword, yeah, I'm gonna actually buy a longsword so that Dante can equip one and then equip the broadsword in his other hand, and now he's dual-wielding that. And yep, the armor is the same as it was in the previous two towns, so not much of a point in that. But of course, the real reason we are coming to this town is because we want to talk to Josef, who apparently this poor lady loves. I don't know who she is, but she's hanging out in front of his house even though she has confidence issues. Well, whatever. Anyway, let's ask Josef about the Wild Rose. Doesn't seem to be really positive about us. Let's ask him about Mythril then. Oh geez, he did an entire dance to reject that plan. He does have a point. I mean, we are just random strangers who have come out of nowhere and we're asking about a valuable material. But he did mention Cement Falls. Now, that of course is helpful because, you know, we want to help people, and apparently people are being enslaved and forced to work there, so of course we want to free them because we hate the Empire and therefore we want to get rid of them. Here are some Goblin Guards. They're not really that much better than Goblin, however, they can also use bows, just like the previous just the soldier, but yeah. Anyway, Cement Falls. People are being enslaved there, so freeing them would of course be a blow to the Empire, but if we remember what the king said and what a random NPC in Salamand said, apparently Mythril was being mined from Cement Falls, so although Josef didn't directly tell us where the Mythril is, there is a chance we could actually find it ourselves if we go here, so that's a pretty useful lead.